Hello, Theater 191. This is a video about musicals, an introduction to them, if you will. In this module, we're talking about musicals as we talk about styles and genre. So we're going to look at the American musical, an American musical theater. So what is a musical? The standard definition would tell us that it's a genre of drama in which singing and dancing play an essential part. But that could be opera, that could be a lot of different forms. So what exactly is musical theater? What we think of like Oklahoma and the Lion King and several other examples we've already looked at this semester. So from Wikipedia, they give this definition, which I think is a little bit better. A form of theatrical performance that combines songs, spoken dialogue, acting, and dance. The story and emotional content of a musical, humor, pathos, love, anger, are communicated through the words, music, movement, and technical aspects of the entertainment as an integrated whole. Although musical theater overlaps with other theatrical forms like opera and dance, it may be distinguished by the equal importance given to the music as compared with the dialogue, movement, and other elements. Since the early 20th century, musical theater stage works have generally been called simply musicals. The musical as a dramatic form, the important aspect of it is that it is an integrated whole. In opera, sometimes there are dancers and singers and they're doing different things. In musical theater, the same people are singing and dancing and acting all at the same time, and that combination of dramatic forms gives us what we now know today as the American musical theater. Before you watch the musical Falsettos this week, here's a brief history of musical theater in the 20th century. Early musicals from the 1900s to the 1930s. Generally, the songs were inserted into the plot and didn't move the action along. That means that the music didn't tell you much about the character or develop the plot, any of those things that Aristotle's Elements are telling us that action does. In these early musicals, like the Ziegfeld Follies, the songs just existed to be fun songs, vehicles for the performer. Shows like Showboat from 1927, written by Oscar Hammerstein II, began to change this model, but it didn't really change until the 40s and 50s, what we commonly refer to as the golden age of musical theater. And these were called book musicals. The two writers who really changed the way that musicals were written from these hokey plots with spaces for songs and dances to shows in which they were these actual integrated wholes was Oscar Hammerstein II and Richard Rodgers, or Rodgers and Hammerstein, as we often refer to them. And they wrote those big hits like Carousel and Oklahoma, as well as quite a few others. But Carousel, 1947's Carousel, is the big show that introduces the scene song and really is pointed to as the shift in musical theater to really integrating the scene and the action and the character all together. After this video, you'll watch that bench scene, as well as a brief intro to what Carousel is, so that you can see how it differs from just a song that happens. One of the big things that changes in these Golden Age musicals is that the songs now do something. And they use the music to develop the plot and to show what characters want. So you get these things called I want songs, and you'll watch a video after this about all of these different types of want songs. You have scene songs, like the bench song from Carousel, which you'll also watch after this. List songs, where characters are basically just telling you a lot of exposition very quickly. You have an 11 o'clock number, which is a big showstopper that wakes everybody up before the end of the show. You have I am songs, where characters just tell you about themselves. You have opening numbers, where you get a whole lot of information about the world. Basically, the world building happens in this big opening number. And then finally, you have finales, which brings everything together. It's the resolution in musical theater. And as I said previously, Carousel developed this scene song, so it was no longer a book of a musical with songs inserted. The bench scene made the song rising action that developed character. So that's a brief overview of musical theater. For this module, you're going to watch Falsettos, which is a play from the 1990s, or musical rather, from the 1990s. It is a show that is entirely sung through, so there is no dialogue. All of the acting happens as they sing and dance. It was written originally as 3 one-acts, but by the time it got to Broadway, they took the second two one acts, put them together for a full Broadway show. And it has won a bunch of Tonys. I hope you enjoy it.